Hello, my dear students. Good afternoon. In the previous lectures, during the offline classes, we have discussed about the kingdom fungi and we have discussed about the two classes of kingdom fungi as Phycomycetes and the Ascomycetes. Now, this is the lecture. It is based on the third class of this fungi, which is basidiomycetes. This basidiomycetes, it is regarded as advanced fungi. Why this is regarded as advanced fungi? We have to mention its characteristics and we will find is this really a advanced fungi or not. So this advanced fungi, basidiomycetes, we have to mention which of the fungi or which of the organism has been included in this. In this kingdom, it has been included with mushrooms. It is included with mushrooms. Also, it is included with bracket fungi. It is bracket fungi. And also, it is included with, these bracket fungi are also known as puffballs. This line is your PYQ. You will be asked which organisms are included in basidiomycetes. In basidiomycetes, this has been included with these mushrooms, bracket fungi, or we can say puffballs. This bracket fungi, or we can say this basidiomycetes, these are also known as club fungi. In sexual reproduction, we will see what is this club. So that's why these are known as club fungi. As we know in Ascomycetes, those Ascomycetes are also known as the sac fungi because they are forming a sac-like structure in which those spores, that is ascospores, are formed. So those ascospores are formed in a sac-like structure. So that's why Ascomycetes were known as the sac fungi. Likewise, they form the fruiting body, and that fruiting body is like these are clubbed. So that's why this is called as club fungi. Coming to the next step of this, we should know about the habitat of this fungi. So, according to the habitat, these fungi can be found or they grow in soil. They grow in soil. Also, they can grow on logs and trees. Logs and trees also, or we can say they grow on logs, on tree stumps, and also in living plant bodies as parasites. They can grow in living plant bodies as parasites, and they can cause a disease that is called as rusts and smuts. Rusts and smuts. So this point which I have mentioned on the basis of habitat, in this point we have mentioned the two diseases of this fungi, that is rusts and smuts. It will be important for you people to remember this. So these rusts and smuts, these are caused by basidiomycetes. We will see particularly which type of organism from the basidiomycetes which causes these rusts and smuts in the next point. If we see about their mycelium, the mycelium, as we know, these fungi are classified onto the basis of the morphology of the mycelium. In this, the mycelium which is found here, it is branched and septate. Suppose this is one branch, this is the second branch, this is its mycelium. This mycelium is having these septa or crossballs, and every cell is having its own nucleus, which is the eukaryotic nucleus. And we see there are many septa found in this and many branches. So we can say this mycelium is branched and also it is septate. So this is mycelium, and this mycelium it is branched and septate. It is branched and septate. So this is the PYQ. So in basidiomycetes, the nature of the mycelium is branched and it is also septate. So this is their cell wall, and this cell wall is composed of chitin and polysaccharides. Chitin and polysaccharides. This is the cross wall, and this cross wall is known as actually septa. Septa is having some pore-like structure by which this cytoplasm can be exchanged from cell to cell. This is a pore. Here the pore is not simple, it is a complex pore. That complex pore is known as doliopore. You need to remember only this. In ascomycetes, the pore is simple pore. But in basidiomycetes, the pore is doliopore. There is a difference between these two pores. So in ascomycetes, it's a simple pore. So that's why it is called as higher fungi, but it is not advanced. But most advanced is basidiomycetes. It's because of this pore. This pore is actually a doliopore. Not needed to study the morphology of this pore because it is out of the syllabus and out of the NCERT. But you need to remember why this is called as advanced fungi. Now, the next thing is, if we see their reproduction. In reproduction, we can see there is no asexual reproduction. So, if we see in reproduction, in Phycomycetes, in Ascomycetes, we have seen they just reproduce by asexual spores. In Phycomycetes, they were reproducing by zoospores and aplanospores, and in this Ascomycetes, they reproduce through conidia. Is this clear or not? Conidia. But here, if we see the reproduction, asexual spores are generally not found. Most important point. Asexual spores are generally not found. So there is no asexual reproduction by spore formation. So this is most important PYQ here. So asexual spores are not found, but asexual reproduction is there by fragmentation. So we can say the asexual spores are generally not found, but vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation. So here is vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction, it is by fragmentation, and you know fragmentation. In the first lecture we have discussed about this fragmentation. When this mycelium or hyphae, it is just broken down into pieces, and each piece will be called as fragment, and each fragment will give rise to new mycelium. That is called as fragmentation. So here you just need to remember this PYQ, that asexual spores are generally not found, but asexual reproduction in terms of vegetative reproduction, it is by fragmentation, it is common. Is this clear? Coming to the sexual reproduction, if we see in sexual reproduction, most important thing, sexual reproduction, sex organs are not found. Sex organs are not found. Gametes are not formed. So let me write it here. There are no sex organs. Most important thing. There are no sex organs. So that means if there are no sex organs, there is no sexual reproduction. But sexual reproduction is there. In the sexual reproduction, two vegetative cells of different strands, they come together like plus strand and minus strand. As we have already learned about, we have discussed about the heterothalism. In the heterothalism, one mycelium is of one genotype and another mycelium is of another genotype. We can say one is the negative strand and one is the positive strand. Negative is behaving like a female and positive is behaving like the male. When these two strands come close to each other, there is a sexual reproduction which takes place in 3 steps. One is plasmogamy, after then there will be karyogamy, and the third step is there will be the meiosis. So let us discuss this one thing. So in this one thing, we can here, you just take the screenshot of this board and you just prepare the notes and I will rub it. Okay. Now let us discuss it with this sexual reproduction. If sex organs are not found, this is again becomes a important question, and it has already been asked in the examination, in NEET examination. So this also be the PYQ. If you want to make the assertion reason for this question, in the basidiomycetes there are no sexual organs, then how the sexual reproduction will take place? Sexual reproduction will take place by the fusion of two vegetative cells or two vegetative hyphae. So let me write it here, that but plasmogamy occurs by the fusion of two vegetative cells, two vegetative or somatic cells, two vegetative or somatic cells which are having the different strands or genotype, having different genotypes or strains. Let me explain it by having this diagram. Suppose this is one of the strain, this is one of the mycelium. In this mycelium you will find these nuclei and these cross bonds. This is a minus strain and it is crossed with a mycelium with a positive strain. These are the two different strains, and these two different strains when a fungi is having, this is called as heterothallism. This is known as heterothallism. These two strands, the two vegetative cells will fuse. Their fusion will be called as plasmogamy. This is the first step, plasmogamy. In this plasmogamy you will find a cell. That cell is known as dikaryotic cell. Because of the plasmogamy is the only fusion of cytoplasm, not the fusion of the nucleus. So then two cells will come together to form this cell. This is the N, this is N, and this cell will become N plus N. So this one nucleus is N haploid, this is second nucleus, it is haploid. This is called as plasmogamy. After then this cell which is formed here, it will undergo some structural changes and it will form the fruiting body like thing. So after then there will be changes, it will form fruiting body. Fruiting body, or we can say the place where the spores are formed. This will form a fruiting body like this. This is the fruiting body and these are the two nucleus. In this fruiting body is known as basidium. It is known as basidium. In basidium, there is the next step that is called as karyogamy. In karyogamy, there is a fusion of these two nucleus. So this basidium will look like all like the same, but these two nucleus will get fused and this will become 2N because this is N plus N. So N plus N, when there is a fusion of nucleus, karyogamy, it will form this 2N. Now in this is the diploid phase. In this diploid phase there will be meiosis. There will be meiosis. In meiosis, this nucleus or this nucleus will form 4 nucleus and it will produce 4 spores like this thing. It will form 4 spores and these 4 spores will be formed here outside the cell. So this is a clubbed fungi. So these 4 spores are clubbed just. So that is why it is known as club fungi. So these are the 4 spores. These spores are known as basidiospores as they are produced in the basidium. So that's why this is called as basidiospores. and these basidiospores, these are produced outside the cell. We can say these basidiospores, these are produced exogenously. So these are exogenous spores. As we know in Ascomycetes, the spores are endogenous. Phycomycetes, spores are endogenous. But in Basidiomycetes, the spores are exogenous. Now, after this, the spores will come out and they will germinate. Many of the Basidia, they are arranged in a cluster. So these many Basidia are arranged. They will form a cluster. They will form a cluster. That cluster is known as fruiting body. Fruiting body. And the fruiting body which is found in this basidiomycetes, that fruiting body is known as basidiocarp. It is basidiocarp. So many basidia, when these are arranged in a cluster, that cluster will form a basidiocarp. In these basidiocarp, many basidiospores will be formed exogenous. Is this clear or not? So here what we see in this is fruiting body. After the dikaryotic stage, this is a dikaryon. This is dikaryon, and the phase is known as dikaryotic phase. After dikaryotic phase, this dikaryotic cell will form the fruiting body that is called as basidium. In basidium, there is karyogamy. After karyogamy, there will be meiosis. So you need to concentrate here where the karyogamy takes place, where the meiosis takes place. It is not taking place in this dikaryon, but it is taking place in this fruiting body that is called as basidium. This is a structure actually, sporangium actually, but it belongs to the basidiomycetes. So this sporangium is known as basidia. In basidia there is the karyogamy and there is the meiosis. It is forming these four basidiospores. Is this clear? So now we'll see karyogamy and meiosis. It occurs in the basidium and they will form this fruiting body that is called as what? That is called as the fruiting body that is called as basidiocarp. Now coming to the example which is mostly important for this basidiomycetes. So you need to emphasize on this example, you need to remember, you need to concentrate on these examples. As we know, examples are very most important. So examples for basidiomycetes, it is agaricus. Agaricus is also known as mushroom. Mushroom. So mushroom is also known as agaricus. Also, you can find this Eustelago. Eustelago. Before this, we have mentioned that smuts and rusts. These are the two diseases of basidiomycetes. This is the organism. Eustelago, it is most important. It causes the disease that is called as smuts. So it causes the disease that is called as smuts. And there is another example, that is Puccinia. Puccinia graminis. It causes the diseases that is called as rusts. So rusts in the wheat, smuts in the mustard. So you need to remember these examples also. So here in this basidiomycetes, we have agaricus, we have Eustelago, we have puffballs, or we can say the bracket fungi, we have mushrooms. So many are the examples of here. So in this example, we can see the whole things like Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes. We need to remember these examples because the question comes like the column based question. Column 1 will have classes of fungi, column number 2 will have examples. You need to match the column 1 to column B. So this is about Basidiomycetes. Let us meet with the next class, Deuteromycetes, in the next lecture. Thank you very much. ये हो गया